Hi 여러분! Today we're gonna make 된장찌개. We'll try two different types of 된장찌개 today, and let's start with a more authentic recipe. So this recipe is by my mom, and as you can see, it doesn't really need a lot of ingredients to make. You're gonna need traditional doenjang, tofu, some mushrooms, and green onions. It's not captured on the video, but you'll need a lot of garlics too. First, get yourself your favorite pot. The size of the pot really is up to how much you want to eat. Then, pour some water in. This recipe serves up to 3 to 4 people, and I used about 1 1/3 cups of water. So there, the water goes in. You can add some more water if you don't like it salty, but always remember, jjigae is not a soup, it's a stew. Next, get some garlics. We're gonna mince them. I used 6 cloves of garlic, but if you're using pre-minced garlic, it's gonna be like 2 big tablespoons. You might say, isn't that too much? But, well, that's Korean food. We Koreans just love garlics. Smash them with the knife first and mince them well. If you are interested in Korean food, then you'd better prepare yourself with garlics. Freshly minced garlics are always better, but it is very common in Korea to buy pre-minced garlic, so that's totally fine too. Now, the key ingredient of the recipe, traditional doenjang. It's actually my mom's homemade doenjang. You can see the color of this doenjang is very dark. So, to explain why it is so dark, let me first tell you how to make traditional doenjang. Step 1, you'll have to boil and smash soybean, which is also called mejukong in Korea. Step 2, then you make meju, which is a brick of the smashed soybean paste. We hang them to dry and let them ferment it for at least 2 months. Important thing, you have to use 볏짚 or rice straw to ferment it with a certain type of bacteria. Step 3, you're gonna put meju into 항아리 or an earthenware jar with brine and ferment it for over 2 months. Step 4, after 2 months, you'll see black liquid and some lumps in 항아리. Then you have to divide them. That black liquid is 간장 and the lump is 된장. This dividing process is called 장가르기. And here comes my mom's secret. When she does the 장가르기, she extracts less 간장 so that all of the flavors that could have gone to 간장 could seep into 된장. So this is why my mom's 된장 is so dark. Quick info, not all traditional doenjangs are dark, but they tend to be darker than modern factory-produced ones. Now you need to put doenjang. Since doenjang tends to be very thick, I'm gonna use skimmer to dissolve doenjang. If you're making 된장국 or 된장 soup, you'll have to filter all the solid bits, but when making jjigae, you don't really need to do that. If you want your jjigae to be clean and clear, you can filter them, but I prefer not doing so because I feel like those bits also add to the flavor and the thickness of the jjigae. As you can see, I swiped all the rest doenjang into the pot. Next up, dubu. You can use any dubu you can get from your nearest store, but I think it's better to use soft ones for 된장찌개. Cut in half first and slice them into pieces about 1/3 inches thick. People love to go cube, but I've always liked it this way. Put dubu into the pot and let's move on to the mushrooms. I used oyster mushroom and that's what I think tastes the best in 된장찌개. But if you can't get any, you can use other mushrooms or even just simply skip it. Now, time to boil the jjigae. Put it on medium-high heat until it starts to boil. While waiting for that, let's prepare some spring onions. You must use both the white part and the green part. White part for the flavor, green part for the aesthetics. I sliced them diagonally, but the shape doesn't really matter, so do as you wish. If you're all done, put them aside for a moment. Jjigae started to boil and here we need to add some more. First, oil. I used grapeseed oil. You can use any other oil except for olive oil. Next up, some 다시다. It's Korea's one of the most famous MSG that tastes like powdered beef stock. Then miwon goes in. It's also a famous Korean MSG. I'll have to announce I love MSG. Many people still misunderstand that MSG is bad for the body, but MSG is an ingredient you can also find in nature and does not affect health unless you eat like a ton. Well, that's it for the defense, and add the green onions. Lower the heat to medium-low and boil it for about 10 to 15 minutes. How do you know when it's done? Take a piece of dubu and check the color. If it's dark and brown, it's ready to be served. There you have it, authentic 된장 jjigae. You shouldn't have too much soup and it should taste a bit salty. Next, we're gonna make a more modernized version of 된장 jjigae you could find in restaurants. Don't forget your pot, and here are the ingredients. For this recipe, I use beef bone broth instead of water. Do not make this at home. You can find them at Asian or Korean markets. It may say 사골 on the package. If you can't find any, try rice washed water. You should use second or third rinse of rice water because first rinse might have dirt in it. For those who are curious, it looks very milky. Next up, the jang trio. I'm going to mix 3 different jangs, 간장, 된장, and 쌈장. I personally do not like doenjang you can buy from markets because of its light taste, and mixing it with different jangs will deepen the flavor. But here you might ask, there are so many jangs, which brand should I get? This is the jang section at my local market. As you can see, there are a lot of brands, so let me help you with that. Haechandil is one of the most famous jang brand in Korea. The package might say CJ or 제일제당. Sunchang is also very famous. Their most popular product is gochujang, but they have a variety of other jangs as well, and they will not disappoint you. Finally, if you are looking for a Korean 간장, this is my go-to brand. I actually just found out they have other jangs too, but you know, if their 간장 is good, others are gonna be good too. Ironically, I used a different brand's 간장, but I guess that was cheaper. The key is to get 진간장, not other types. Here's the doenjang, which is not from the brands I mentioned neither, but trust me with the recommendation. Here we go, 쌈장 is from Haechandil. Yeah, so those 3. Now we're gonna mix them all together. As you can see, the color of doenjang is much lighter than the traditional one. Put 1 tablespoon of that. 1 full teaspoon more. For 쌈장, you'll need another full teaspoon of that. After that, add 1 teaspoon of 간장. If you put too much 간장, its taste will cover all the other flavors, so be careful with the amount you put in. And mix well. This is the final product. Now put the mixture into the pot. It's not as thick as the traditional doenjang, so you won't need a skimmer. You can just dissolve it a bit with your spoon. They will be dissolved while boiling, so it doesn't need to be fully dissolved. Do not waste any. Put some water and scrape everything out. It's garlic time. I use 6 cloves of garlic like before. Smash, 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 and mince them well. Here, you need some kick. Put 2 teaspoons of gochugaru or Korean chili powder. I've never made Korean food with other types of chili powder like cayenne, so I would just recommend getting some gochugaru. For dubu, I'm using sundubu or soft tofu. Sundubu is usually for sundubu jjigae, but I just absolutely love sundubu, so I thought it will make a good combo with doenjang. You have to wash the package if it just looks like this, since you're gonna cut right through it. If yours is in a container like a normal dubu, skip washing. If you're first to this package, do not hold it too tight and slice very gently. If you slightly push the end, sundubu will come out. Again, do not push it too hard. Then just roughly cut sundubu into pieces with your spoon, like twice or 3 times each. You'll need spring onions again too, both the white part and the green part. Now, let's bring it to boil on medium-high heat. Add the same ingredients like before, oil, 다시다, and miwon. When it starts to boil, ta-da! I forgot to mention at first, some thinly sliced beef. I used short plate, but any thinly sliced beef with a lot of fat will do. When the beef starts to turn brown, put the green onions in and boil for 10 more minutes on medium-low heat. There you have it again, a restaurant 된장찌개. It's the moment of truth. On the left side, we have traditional 된장찌개. On the right side, we got restaurant 된장찌개. Do you see the difference in color? 맛보기 출연을
맛있다. 엄청 깊은 맛 나. 진짜 맛있어.
완전 종류가 다른 음식이지.